Majid Khan, a US resident, completed his sentence in 2022. His return to his country of residence was complicated by the US federal law, barring resettlement from Guantanamo to the US. Secretary of State Antony Blinken brokered a resettlement agreement with Belize on humanitarian grounds to release the detainee a year after his sentence was served in full. Majid Khan, a Pakistani holding a legal US resident status, has just been transferred to Belize from the Guantanamo Bay Prison. Khan was sentenced to 10 years for his involvement in the Al-Qaeda operations and for being a personal aide to the Al-Qaeda leader Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. The Khan's sentence ended in March last year, but could not be released back to the US due to legal exceptions that the US carved out for itself. It has taken the US a year to negotiate resettlement and had to involve Secretary of State Antony Blinken to convince Belize to accept his resettlement. Now, the infamous detention center is housed in the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base in Cuba, which allowed the US to avoid providing legal rights and protections to the detainees under the US, as well as international law. Many detainees, including Majid, have undergone physical, psychological, as well as sexual violence at the hands of USA military, the CIA, and private contractors managing the US's detention facilities during the War on Terror. Now, according to the US State Department lawyer, David Bowker, the US uses the facility as the legal equivalent of outer space to avoid accountability and regulations over treatment of detainees. Since 2002, roughly 780 detainees have been held at the American military prison so far. And the countries with the highest number of the detainees include Afghanistan 219, Saudi Arabia 134, Yemen 115, Pakistan 72, and Algeria 23, according to the New York Times, after widespread criticism from the global community and from within the United States. The Obama administration made a commitment to closing the inhumane facility, and a number of foreign detainees were repatriated to their countries of residence to live out their sentences, or to be released as per their respective sentencing or acquittal details. About 540 detainees had been released during President Bush's administration, and approximately 200 detainees were released during President Obama's years. However, the Trump administration overturned the decision to close down the shameful detention facility that had brought much criticism to the US, with only one detainee being released during this time. In the face of continued criticism for international law and human rights violations, President Biden has renewed the Obama administration's effort to work for the closure of the prison. The total inmate population at the facility currently stands at 34, with two Pakistanis, Mohammad Ahmed Ghulam Rabbani and Abdul Rahim Ghulam Rabbani, also due for release since 2021. I'm Tayyaba Nisar Khan, and this was your Daily Dispatch.